baby beard.
Waited for you, Fry.
This episode traumatized me as a young person.
My head is hurting again.
Where's my firstborn son?
God does not care about me masturbating.
Your singing is bad and you should feel bad. First get out into the bus, so you're like, oh no!
Yeah, I don't like myself becoming the protagonist of this podcast.
You've been in
Yeah, because you haven't learned anything.
Oh, shut up and take my podcast.
No. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not ready. Welcome. Hello. How are you guys going? Answer me.
Sean, we've had so long for you to get ready. I'm well, but
Okay, let's do this. Welcome everybody to Shut Up and Take My Podcast, Please, an Australian Futurama podcast that pits episode against episode in a bloody glorious gauntlet battle for your entertainment, or at least when they're up at the right time. Paul.
No,
No.
I'm a sleepy boy.
We're actually all in a very bad place, just, in life. Paul woke up late. Chris has
Paul
been...
woke up just generally.
Yeah, he woke, thank
Hate it
God.
when I do that.
Chris has a house inspection tomorrow, and I was in the emergency room last night, so everyone's got a good thing going on.
Yeah, it's fun times.
Great space, great feeling.
I just thought, yeah. Look, welcome, and thank you guys so much for being here. It means the world to me.
Us or the audience?
Yeah, sorry, if we're talking to the audience and then going to apologize for the ensuing 40 minutes they're about to endure. But thank you. It really, yeah.
I like that you assume it's going to last 40 minutes, but I appreciate it. So, guys, we are on to Season 7, Episode 6, which is the Butterjunk Effect. But, Paul and Christopher, sir, what is the Butterjunk Effect?
It's the butterfly effect.
Oh,
Don't we do a usual... I'm not telling you how to run your show, because I know you've been in hospital, but don't you usually do a thing where you introduce us?
Oh,
And we have
fuck,
to
did I
say
miss that? Oh, my God.
Futurama quote.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. I genuinely... Wow. Okay, I'm gonna leave the room and I'm gonna come back in about 10 minutes when I have
Got your life back together? Yeah. You were in hospital last night, like rushed to hospital, so it's fair enough.
Okay, I'm back. And as always, I am joined here by Chris.
Wait, the butterfly derby is when? And what?
Joined here, not as always, by guest for this episode, Paul Salt.
Well, I'm done polishing my ass. You can have your toothbrush back.
And we're joined by Sean.
I was in hospital, so I didn't think of a quote.
Yeah, that's from the episode, actually.
Yeah, it's weird when Leela said that.
Yeah, it was really out of place.
It's my favorite dark moment.
I didn't have time to read the script this week.
So, as I stated, I believe I'm at the correct part of the episode now, where I say Season 7, Episode 6, The Butterjunk Effect, which you so aptly told me is the butterfly effect, which could be one of two things. Paul, do you happen to know what two things they are?
Ooh, well, what I'm familiar with is the idea that if a butterfly flaps its wings halfway across the world, then a tsunami will occur on the other half, because reasons.
Causality and such.
Yeah, it's never been fully extrapolated. Maybe if the butterfly flaps its wings, it moves a branch, which knocks off a grape, which hits a guy in the head, and he's like, oh, fuck this, I hate this place, I'm going back home. Gets in his plane, which crashes into the ocean, which disturbs the giant sea turtle that lives there. And it takes out its watery tsunami-based vengeance on the East Coast.
That's the popular one I know, yes. Yeah.
Did this happen to you, Paul?
No, maybe.
Follow that butterfly, Paul. Follow it.
I was the butterfly. I killed all those people.
And it affected you greatly. It's A-F-F-E-C-T. It's the wrong effect. The butterfly effect.
You see, no one ever talks about the reverse butterfly effect, which is the effect that tsunami has on that butterfly living halfway across the world, because it's traumatic, I can assure you.
No one thinks about the butterfly.
In all this.
But
no one suspects the butterfly.
Oh, shit. Did
But
on
also,
purpose.
no one, and possibly rightfully so, remembers the 2004 Ashton Kutcher film, The Butterfly Effect.
No, that's a good movie, isn't it?
Is it?
Isn't it?
I don't know. I just
Is it?
presume that it's not.
I remember it being okay.
So do I.
I watched it back in a time when I would sometimes watch movies like this with my parents, and my parents couldn't sit for more than half an hour at a time. And so we would watch it in chunks over several dinners. And if
that's
there's
awful.
one film that does not lend itself to being watched in half-hour chunks across several nights, it's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. But also...
Your parents...
It's
what?
the
Your parents are
Butterfly Effect.
monsters.
I mean, now they're fine, but it was just a weird thing they had going on at the time. We used to watch
Do they still
spy
do it now?
thrillers that way. No. Well, yes, actually. When they're
Then
watching
they are
stuff
monsters.
together.
You know what film does lend itself to that? Pulp Fiction.
Oh,
Oh.
fuck yeah.
Oh.
What a great anthology film this is.
I was thinking do it with Memento.
Oh, God, did we do it with Memento? We did it with Batman Begins, and even that was confusing.
What? Why would you do that?
I know, it's like, hang on a minute. Well, how well does Bruce Wayne's clothes fit? That's the only way we can gauge what timeline we're in now.
Wait, so Sean, you were saying the other allusion is to the film The Butterfly Effect. Is that what you were saying?
Yes.
Which is an allusion to the metaphor or the theme.
Yes.
Chaos
He
theory
does.
idea.
He has some sort of time travel ability somehow, and because each time Ashton Kutcher went and did something, it had dramatic effects in the future, a la the Butterfly Effect.
Oh, so wait,
Yeah.
the Butterfly Effect also refers to that sort of Homer Simpson time travel lark.
Totally.
That if you kill a single butterfly, it'll turn all of your family into toasters or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
quick theory. Do your parents just think that movies don't exist and think everything is a television episode?
I hope so. It's largely my father's directive, it has to be said, and I know that my mother also gets very confused by these things.
It's like, right, that's when the episode finishes, so we'll stop there and we'll pick up next week when the TV show comes back on.
It must be nice to not know about movies and just think they're big TV shows. That must be nice.
Going to the cinema once a week, it's like, well, that's the next half hour of that film.
Yeah.
Oh, that raucous television show, Hobbs and Shaw.
Where are they getting the money for all this?
So the director for this episode is Crystal Chesney Thompson, who is back from Cold Warriors.
Ooh.
If you remember that episode.
No,
it's where
not at all. Which
No,
one was
neither
that?
do I.
Fry brings back the cold from the 20th century and everyone gets the common
Oh,
cold.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was imagining ice people. I was like, I
Ice.
remember that one.
Oh, ice people.
I don't remember the Futurama crew fighting Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
Oh, that was a no, I tried to do a nice pun there. I didn't have it. I tried. I'm sorry.
Bit of a frosty reception for that joke.
Oh, I hate you.
Bit of a frosty reception for that reference to a pop culture, I think.
Who wrote it?
The writer for this. Oh, thank you for asking there, Chris. The writer
That's
for
all right.
this.
That's all right. I'm happy to help. Happy to
Oh,
a little bit of banter.
you're keeping me on track. You're keeping me honest, mate.
Yeah, that's right.
True in true Aussie fashion.
Don't know why
Look,
I've gone this voice. It's fucked.
Oh, look, I'll fucking tell you who the writer for this episode is. It's Michael Rao, mate.
Oh yeah. Good old MR, as we
Yeah.
know him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a bit of a
Yeah.
row about him last time he was on. Yeah, I can pun
Oh, did
too,
we?
poor motherfucker.
Did we? Oh,
No,
right.
I just-
yeah.
there you go.
There we go.
Yeah, it flew over your heads, mate.
Classic Sean
Oh, that's-
explaining the joke bit.
That's how that
Oh.
feels. Oh.
I'm too smart for you guys, just like Amy Smart, the fellow actor who was in The Butterfly Effect starring Ashton Kutcher. Bringing it back to what we should really be talking about, Butterfly Effect.
The Butterfly Effect, starring Ashton Kutcher.
Surprise, that's what this podcast is actually about.
The whole time.
2.5 years. It's been a big bait.
I knew you were fucking off topic when you were doing that episode where the monkey gets smart, and all you were talking about was the Butterfly Effect.
The air date for this episode is July the 18th, 2012, which, if you're keeping track of Birthday Watch, was 10 days after my 21st birthday, ladies and gentlemen. What about you guys? What was the nearest birthday for you?
I don't know. Mine's in February, so fucked.
Are you the same age as me?
Yeah, I'm older than you by 6 months.
Oh, well then you were also 21.
Sure. That makes
think.
sense. Probably.
Yeah?
What year was it again?
No,
Say
20. No, you were 21. Yes, you were. There you go.
Yeah.
I've solved it.
Yeah.
I solved it,
Yep,
mate.
we did it.
Riveting content. Paul, birthday?
112 minus 88. I was 24.
Are you older than us?
How old did you just say that you were at that point?
I was
wasn't paying
21.
attention. 21. Oh, yeah, I'm the oldest one here. Now you pipe down, kids.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. You can take the rest of the podcast.
I have seniority as the person who's been alive the longest. Yeah, I was 24. I was the 2 years after I graduated from university in 2010, I was unemployed and absolutely fucking loving it. God, I miss it.
Did you
Being unemployed
study?
is the best.
Did you study history? Was that right?
Yes. I did. That's why I met Goodman.
That's right. I remember that. Oh, see, I remember how you two met.
Yeah, I studied history, also known as advanced being unemployed.
Oh, I studied acting. I'm right with you there, mate.
Oh, God, it was the best. All I was doing back in 2012 was going to go see movies. Movies like The Butterfly Effect, which got a re-release.
Introducing Jill Talley, who... Jill Talley, I actually... You know what? I didn't write down who she played in this episode, which is great research on my part.
She's the trainer.
Yes.
She's the trainer. The
Oh,
one
there
who
you go.
gives out
Thank
the
you.
drug.
However, you also might know, and this is more for Ellen's benefit, she not only did she play Karen Plankton, as in Plankton's wife on SpongeBob SquarePants, but she's fucking married to SpongeBob, Tom Kenny. They're a married voice acting duo.
Aw. Their answer phone message must be amazing.
Yeah, I was going to say, imagine the dirty talk between them.
Oh, God, no, I don't want to, please.
Suck on it for longer. Blah!
Oh.
I was hoping for that. Good.
My childhood.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what we're here to destroy.
Hey, Paul, do you...
This is
Hey,
This is
Paul!
revenge on behalf of Ellen for what we did to Casper.
Hey, Paul, while I get my balls sucked, would you like to run down the plot of this episode? Blah!
I'd be delighted. Where's Patrick in all this, incidentally? Where's Patrick in all this? Is he being made to watch? I
Yeah.
don't like any of this.
I don't know what an episode is. Yay!
Yes, so, let me just see if my notes are going to be in any way useful for this. No, probably not. They've been ordered to go deliver rocks to the moon. Ancient rocks that the astronauts took away from the moon in a terrible act of sort of cultural appropriation. And they take the rocks back, and it transpires they're not going to put it in a museum, they're just building a wall. So why not use actual rocks that are just lying around?
Right.
Surely this is expensive. The professor must be charging for this.
It was just
Oh, well.
a dick move.
It's just a dick move. Fuck these guys.
The moon is flexing on Earth, man. It's just a flex move.
Weird
Oh,
flex,
man.
but okay. Oh, pop culture reference. I realized I may have just thrown you under the bus with this one. Usually you have like a plot rundown that's 10 times more funnier than anything we ever come up with every time any of us have ever tried to do a plot rundown. So I just assumed,
I forgot to
man.
prepare one.
I forgot to prepare the episode, so there you go.
All right, look, they go to the moon, they find out there's some sort of derby there involved. It's roller derby, but in the sky with butterfly wings. Leela and Amy, who are newly bickering, because apparently that's a thing they've always done, we just never showed it before. Well, I mean, we occasionally showed it, but they've amped it up to about 10 so that it can be a character trait that they have to overcome. So they join this, and they lose a lot, then they do drugs, then they win a lot, but too much. You know how it goes. You've seen episodes of other TV shows with this plot. Eventually they complain. They go to Kif's home planet for something.
To get more drugs.
To get
Get
more
more
drugs.
drugs. But Amy makes out with Fry because he got sprayed by something that makes him irresistible to anyone doing this drug. It's very tight. They come back home. Do you know what? Let's just cut to the end here. In the end, they learn the true meaning of friendship. And Fry turns into a butterfly and fucks two muscular women.
In front of a lot of people.
And that is the Butterjunk Effect.
You know what? I've realized is the message of this story that if you ever need drugs, just go to your boyfriend?
That's what I do.
Really?
If
I have some?
boyfriend.
Or drugs.
Then I could give my boyfriend drugs. It's just an endless loop. We don't use
Okay.
them. We just give them to each other.
Chicken and the egg. Do you get the boyfriend first or the drugs? The drugs help you get a boyfriend.
Okay, I have a legitimate question here. Is it actually just called the Butterjunk Effect because junk is an allusion to private parts?
I
I
assume
think
so.
it's partly that and partly
Or
junk,
junkie?
isn't it? Junkies and like junk is a slang for drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. I've learned something new.
Junk is a slang for drugs. I couldn't sound more white.
It's a popular euphemism used by...
The horse doesn't refer to an actual horse. You see, it means heroin because of the first letter of both words.
Hello, kids. Is it possible for me to score some junk off you? I would like to procure some junk. Kids, where are you going? Children,
I require drugs.
children, I regret my actions.
Oh, fuck.
So, okay, here's... now, Chris, you were telling me a while ago that this has a few wrestling allusions. Does it? I mean, yes, it does, I guess.
They fight.
That's the illusion.
That's fairly there. I don't know.
I got to say, I don't know if any of you guys have ever gone and watched Derby. I have, because our own dear, sweet, lovely Ellen also used to be an avid Derbyer back in her day. It's a fucking brutal sport.
Yes, I've heard tell and had a friend who did it, but not for long.
Oh.
She didn't like me very much.
I didn't do it, but I've seen like car derbies.
Oh,
and
you
that's
mean
the
car
same
derby?
sort of thing. Yeah, like monster trucks and stuff, and where they hit each other.
I just imagine that, but with women.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Eventually, one rolls over another one.
They get the big one out, and it crushes the little ones.
Do people have any initial thoughts about this episode? I mean, my questions just revolve around things like fucking Derby and who should be dead and general long-term physical and mental anguish. I don't know about you guys.
I don't want to be too hard on this episode, but also I am struggling to find redeeming qualities about it. I mean, that seems really mean, but like I want it to be positive, but also I don't know if I like this episode at all.
Ooh,
Is that
rough?
rude? I don't know.
Oh, I mean, I
don't
didn't
know.
pick it because it was like a dear old favorite of mine. It's just something that's stuck in my head of like, oh yeah, I remember that one. And
Yeah.
often the ones that are like that are the ones that are more sort of concept heavy.
Well, I remembered this one as well. I remember it really clearly, which is why I was
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, let's watch it again. And then I came away being like, huh, that was a thing.
I think it earns unfortunate comparisons to other times that Futurama has done sports. You know, Bender becoming a wrestler, Leela becoming, in a league of her own.
It's Abner
Yeah.
Double Deal episodes as well, because he's always the sports kind of presenter, as it were, because he did the Robot League, he did the
Right.
baseball deal. Like, it's always been Abner Double Deal, who's Tom Kenny, actually. So
Oh, awesome.
it's interesting. I enjoyed this episode, I think, more than you did, Chris. I mean, I found myself chuckling away lightly. And, I mean, it's weird in that when was the last time we kind of dealt with a Leela Amy type story? And usually were they actually squabbling at each other, or did they try and actually make it quite clear that they actually do like each other? Because they did constantly keep saying to Fry and like, shut the fuck
Yeah.
up, we actually do like each other.
It's the age-old habit of any TV drama to be like, oh, we always do this, and then it's the first time you've really noticed them doing this. I mean, Leela and Amy have always sort of had a back and forth, and I think it was always
Yes.
funny, uncommented on. The idea of making it the kind of focus of their character arc is, I don't know, it's a bit of a shame. It was always fun as a sort of background detail, especially since I always got the impression Amy never really knew she was doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always got the impression she was doing it kind of obliviously, like, oh, those are great boots. Do they have them in women's sizes? Because she was always so smiley at the point when she would say it.
Yeah, it never really came off as her deliberately trying to undermine Leela. It was just like kind of this, bore out of this kind of entitlement. Just, shouldn't things always be pretty and awesome and delicate and funny? It's just interesting that you are not those things.
What was her response when the episode where they had to deliver the Beauty Queen crown? And Amy says, surely everyone has dreamed of at some point being the Queen of the Universe or something. And
Oh.
Leela says, not me.
Oh,
And he
really?
says-
Maybe just cute girls.
That was it.
Yeah, it's only maybe that's only just cute girls who dream that then.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it has always been there. It's just,
Well,
calling attention
it was
to it.
never like back and forth. It was like Amy
Oh,
would
yeah, just
do
Amy
it.
being a dick.
Yeah, and it's just like she was unintentionally being an asshole, and Leela was just like, I guess that's just her. Like she was,
Or she would just punch her. Like she would
Yeah.
just give some sort of physical violence to Amy's face.
They also don't use that setup. I'm just going to get right into the episode. They also don't use that setup of like two women are catty to each other, and that's how their relationship begins. And then you expect that, and then they do the warning of like, if we're ever friendly together, that means we're having a real problem with each other. But then like the problem that they have to overcome is drug addiction. It's like, what the fuck? It's like hard left
They
turn.
fooled you. They fooled you, Chris. You thought it was going to be a lovely familial kind of relationship between the Planet Express crew, and it's just about fucking drug addiction, mate.
It wouldn't be a problem if like it was. I mean, you can do it in the diner. Like Amy and Leela are like eating some food, and they can't stop each other. They can't stop eating. Like we know Amy has a food problem. Like why not set up that they're slightly dependent on, or Leela wants to be stronger than her like Fry as a male counterpart, or like anything to do with anything about
or that they're maybe super competitive with each other.
Yes.
Like maybe they get into an eating contest or something. You're right. Yeah, they could have set this up much better than going for the whole raising awareness to the only dynamic they've seen the two characters have so far.
No, see, I think you're missing the nuance of the episode in that it took one comment from Amy and Leela to each other at the beginning, and then through the butterfly effect, it led to them being addicted to drugs.
Through the Ashton Kutcher effect.
Right?
The plot is meta because it thinks that things are sequential. I see.
Yeah.
Action affects action, like all plots do.
Just dig deeper, get your mind out of negativity, and I think you'll find it's fucking great.
So as I was saying, I think this is probably the best episode of Futurama that I've ever seen.
I think, yeah, as a future rumor episode, I think it is probably the best. I've turned off my brain completely.
As a Future Palooza episode, it just is unsurpassed.
It does remind me of, what was it Futurella? That was the in Futurama canon TV series about the same thing.
Yeah,
That's
Futurilla or whatever it is, yeah.
That was in, I think that was in Reconcilable and Differences. I hate saying that name.
Well, this is same director or same writer? Same writer.
Same writer?
Yeah, nope, same director.
Crystal. Oh, yeah, I think that was her first or second episode.
Proposition
You've got
Infinity.
the pages pulled up, which I don't.
Absolutely, I do. I'm whipping around. But also, like, the way they decide to do detox is that they're like, let's do detox.
Yeah. We'll just get into a bed for a while.
Fucking do it. Like, why doesn't Kif get angry and, like, make Amy stop? Why doesn't Fry be like, mate, this is a bad idea. I'm clearly making my friend sad. Why don't, like, what the fuck? Why do these people just make snap decisions without any provocation? It's fucked.
They're learning from Bender.
Butterfly effect and Bender.
Oh, actually, guys, oh my God. The Butterfly Effect with Ashton Kutcher was produced by Chris Bender.
Oh, shit!
Fuck! Wow. Shit. It makes sense.
Now, all doomed.
For you, Chris, is there any butterfly among what is otherwise a sluggy, wormy episode for you? Where is
Caterpillar-y episode.
Yeah.
I really liked them going in and like losing every episode, losing every fight. But then I was hoping that they would slowly get better rather than skipping like to a straight drug thing. Like I was hoping they would slowly build up their skills, and it would be like this kind of this thing would be like a friendship thing where they go through these trials and tribulations together and come out the other side.
I was okay with that. I liked. I quite liked the fact that they never got any traction whatsoever. It made the allure of doing these drugs more so because they never had any kind of chance without them.
That's true. I liked the animation. I really liked the animation. I thought the flying was actually really, really lovely.
Yeah.
Animating like almost kind of 0G flying characters is really cool, and having them fight each other is really fun. The locations were cool, like the moon and the battle arena and the alien planet were really fun.
I loved seeing Kif's home, parents' house. I don't think we've seen that
cool.
before, and it was this brilliant. It reminded me of the concept art of Chewbacca's house that Ralph McQuarrie did, and like the I think he did it for the Star Wars Holiday Special. In fact,
Kashyyyk,
Kashyyyk, yeah. But there were these beautiful sort of Wookiee tree houses, and it reminded me of that. They were very cool.
It's kind of funny because I was talking about the Holiday Spectacular with Frank and Eric last week, and we all just had bonded over our shared love for that atrocity.
I've never seen the whole thing all the way through. I've just seen the nostalgia.
It's a riot, my friend. You must track it down.
I should.
It's kind of interesting because the one thing that I also kind of discovered last week is I'd always talked about how, for me, what goes into a good Futurama episode is you have to balance up the three aspects of the writing, which is the sci-fi hook, the humor, and the heart. But I came to a realization last week through talking with Frank and Eric that there's actually a fourth foundational point to an episode, which is the visuals. And so you're quite right, is that especially now that we've headed into the HD era and the second run where they're really experimenting with what they can do with not only their 3D animation, but just the beautiful color palettes and the external shots and everything. It's become such a essential part of creating an episode now.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can tell that they're sort of desiring, I guess, after this, 7 seasons, to get into new areas and to show new things other than just the Planet Express ship. Their Planet Express headquarters, the usual locations that they usually stick to.
Yeah, there's definitely like adventurous places they're going to. I was really surprised that Fry and Kif were like being pushed around by buff Amy and buff Leela. I'm okay with strong woman dating strong woman. Like, that's all right. It's no problem. That's all good. Strong ladies, hit me up. Yeah.
You date strong woman?
Look, if there's a strong woman and she thinks it's cute to punch me in the face, go right fucking head. I just want human touch.
That's a challenge to any of you out there.
I mean, I can give you that.
Yeah, you just be a bit buffer, Sean. Just a little bit more buff in the arms, and you can punch me in the
I'm a sexy
face.
boy.
That's true, you are. It's true. Very sexy boy. Moving rapidly along.
Why? Why ever?
I quite liked the disposable phone gag where she gets the disposable number and then gets phoned up immediately and is like, yeah, we're buying the drugs straight away. I quite like that.
Just throws it away.
Yeah, she just throws it straight away. And I was like, great.
That's right. Cool. I did thoroughly like all the, and this once again goes to the visuals, but just the different teams that they were facing. Just looking at the designs, this is my little fashion corner. This is the best I can do on that point, but it's just like all the different team designs and the logos and the different women that were destroying Leela and Amy. That was probably my highlight, is the arena and that whole sequence.
It's fun. It's like when you're doing a Mad Max sequence, you can always sort of put some time and energy into the teams and have them sort of themed. That was quite fun.
I really liked the murder flies. They seemed cool. They seem like badass women who are like, just fucking take no prisoners, who are these dickheads who have decided to come into our industry. They were great. I liked them a lot.
Actually, you're right. It is very much like wrestling. I agree with you now.
Mm-hmm. Lots of color. The old ladies with the walkers. It was like very much Glow from like the 80s.
Oh, the fucking chair with wings.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's heaps of little animation things that are really good in this.
Yeah.
Fry cocooning himself in the fucking on the ship. What the fuck is that? That was great.
Holy shit.
Oh, the rock landing on Fry. Oh, just all good. All good.
Yeah, the animation in this is amazing. Like, really, really good. And him becoming the fly creature, like the fucking, like some Cronenbergian kind of bullshit butterfly. Like, that's great. That's fantastic design. And buff Leela and buff Amy, it's great design.
The nice little cute line at the end I particularly enjoyed, which is, and he doesn't have any brain function, and he's got all those weird limbs, and then they're like, oh, he's got his normal limbs back. But of course there's no brain function. I enjoyed that joke.
Yeah. Oh, there's some jokes in there I like. I wrote a couple down. I liked, at the very beginning, and speaking of details, on the chef board outside of Elgar's place is Jar Jar Tartare.
Yeah, I wrote that down as well. I really liked that one.
I love, my favorite visual gag was the drug dealer lady just sort of stooping back behind the lockers.
Yes!
After she'd done her sales pitch, just to go stand there, I guess.
But also there's like you can clearly see the exit to the room, like the exit to the lockers, and she decides to not go that way, which is really good. Really nice kind of visual design of that gag. Like there's clearly the option to go the other way. I really like
waiting for the next team to come in.
It actually reminded me of something that I can't remember the name of the character, but the person who does everything on Kiv's home planet.
Oh, the Grand
Midwife?
Moff.
Yes,
Grand Midwife.
It's as Grand Midwife that she does this when we first see her, and she's just like, I live here, so I'm not going to go anywhere, but you don't have to talk to me anymore. You just see her in the background of the scene.
Well, that's right. She says, like, I am the Grand Butterfly Keeper this week.
That's right. Yeah.
Because she has like 5 jobs.
Yes, exactly 5. And this is the last job she has.
Yes.
Well, I don't suppose all of these things come up all that often. You've got to, do sidelines. They're all part-time.
Mm.
People don't show up every
I wonder what
week.
her full-time job is. Like, what does she actually do for a living?
It's like, oh God, it's like the pimply-faced teen in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Oh,
I really enjoyed the line when Leela is talking about how Amy and her lost to that team that turned out to be us in the mirror. I really like that as a little sly kind of.
I noticed that because you mentioned that this is the last job that the Grand Midwife have, this is also the last time, apparently, having not seen the rest of the season, this is the last time that Kif and Amy's relationship is used as a plot point.
Oh,
okay.
really? Oh, you might be right.
As a plot point, this is the last time that relationship will be used.
Oh, I'm instantly sad because that's a bit of a sad way to send them off, isn't it? Like they've had better ones.
Do they make up? No, they do. They do. She's like, I'm
They
sorry.
make up. Yeah, they make
yeah.
up, but it's
They
not
kiss a
terribly.
bit.
It's a bit B plot to Fry
have
becoming
you
a fucking
guys-
fly creature.
Have you guys had the episode where they do break up for an episode?
That was in season 6, though, wasn't it?
I can't keep track of the chronology of these. So is this the last time it's going to get mentioned in total? Or just for this season?
Apparently. Or as a plot point, apparently. My note is the last time Kif and Amy's relationship is used for an episode.
I suppose it's
Yeah.
nice, because the alternative is that you just keep on doing the Fry and Leela, where you just sort of keep throwing up obstacles and are they dating? Aren't they? Where exactly are they? And that kind of thing. Whereas here, I guess they've been retired. It's just, okay, they're a couple. We'll just leave it there.
I'll tell you what, that's what I like. I just think it's really cute that they finally, first of all, we've finally firmly established in this season that Fry and Leela are together now, but also that they just go on a cute little double date at the beginning. That's lovely.
Yeah, that was nice. That's their kind of like normal thing to do is like, oh, we'll just go on a double date. It's cute and fine.
It's nice seeing just seeing what Planet Express ship is like normally. Like what they do as normal fucking human beings.
Yeah. I used to love the episodes that would start with them just doing something like going to a baseball game or the movies.
Or Bender going through the car wash.
Stuff that's
Or horse
pedestrian.
racing.
I do wonder why they keep going to Elzar's, because they keep having a bad time or being horribly overcharged every time they go there. Is it the only restaurant in New York?
It might
Maybe
be.
the only one they can afford.
Elzar's is a chain. It's a chain of restaurants. It makes sense now.
Oh, there's so many Elzar's. They're all Neptunians.
Yeah, they're all just Elzar's.
It's a costume.
Yeah.
That pimply faced kid from The Simpsons is inside one of them.
Elzar's not a person, it's a state of being. You too can be Elzar.
In our dreams. I really liked, because I think it does actually pertain to something that really goes on in American newscasting, when the female newscaster sort of says the whole story and then says, with more on this, we'll go to SportsBot. And he just says, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, like you did
yeah.
a good summary.
Thank you. That's my job.
I quite liked the newscast of Morbo opening that with, once again, whatever his name, the immortal, dead, age 26.
Yes.
I quite liked that.
I liked when Fry is getting sprayed by, what is it that sprays him? Some sort of weird...
The big...
The male butterfly.
Yes.
That was it, yeah. I like the gap in spraying him. That's really my surprise, where it's spraying him and then tapers off and then just comes back again.
Yeah.
It's good timing on that.
I quite liked the cocooning. I've said it before, but I liked how it just like hard cuts to Fry, it just like cocooning himself, and it's a bit fast, but like it's quite nice just to see Fry like fucking spitting cocoon goo out of his mouth. It's quite nice. I like that.
We've all been waiting for that.
I'm keen for that.
What I think we should do is let's wrap ourselves in our cocoon of judgment, and let's us formulate any final thoughts and opinions and things we liked or didn't like into our vote.
Okay. Very economical of you, Sean.
Thank you. I do my best. I will be letting you know that the current winner, Zap Dingbat, awaits either your approval or destruction as you pit that episode up against this episode today, the Butterjunk/Fly Effect. I will also accept a third answer of Ashton Kutcher's Butterfly Effect.
If that could be the best Futurama episode of this season, then...
That would be wild.
Season 7 winner, the Butterfly Effect.
We've had all these fantastic writers and directors on, and then we suddenly just rip on them by going, a film from mid-2000s is better, so...
It's the best
But to
episode
be
of
fair,
Futurama ever.
Director/writing team Eric Bless and J. McKee Gruber will be thrilled.
We wrote the best episode of Futurama.
Wasn't our intention, but great.
Look, sometimes in the arts, you don't know how you've succeeded, but you have. And that's what matters.
It's the butterfly effect. You make a movie in 2004, it becomes a Futurama episode, sunrise, sunset. I will go first, actually, because I never do. And I'm going to go for Zap Dingbat. For me, the butterfly effect, I did get a bit of a chuckle out of it, and I really enjoyed some of the visuals, but for the most part, it kind of just came off as a bit more of the kind of episode that I would just put on and have in the background while I'm going often doing housework or whatever it is that Sean does during his day. It's just one of those episodes that I didn't dislike it by any of the stretch of the imagination, and it's just a fun, mindless episode to put on, but it didn't grab me in the same way that a Zap Dingbat or a Decision 3012 would. It's not got a huge kind of big social message or political message, and it doesn't heavily rely on some of the bigger relationships. Like, you've got two large relationships in Leela and Fry and Kif and Amy, but they're not really utilized in a large enough way to kind of stand out. I just found myself having a lot more raucous fun with Zap Dingbat, and I think they utilized their side character and utilized a great periphery character in Leela's parents in a way that was such a big change and was much more groundbreaking. So for that reason, I think, and so far Zap Dingbat is my favorite episode of the season, so that's where I'm going to go.
I'll go next. I'm going to agree, and I'm going to say Zap is the better episode, in my opinion. I think Zap is just a little cleverer, a little funnier. It has a little more heart, but I think the comedy is a little sharper as well. I think the animation in Butterjunk Effect is actually really fun and is really cool. Anything with Kif's parents always has like that degree of like that's kind of cool animation just in of itself. The flying bugs, that sort of thing. That's great. But one or two things kind of sour me on Butterjunk Effect, which is like the allusions to domestic abuse are kind of like, ugh, I don't like that, because it's played for laughs rather than like, oh, this is a real problem that we need to stop them using this fucking drug. And also the plot doesn't really work as well as I thought it did. I think it should have. Yeah, I just like I said before, like it doesn't set up what it resolves, which I think it could have. And I think that's a missed opportunity. So Zap, I think, is actually just a better episode in terms of writing and all-round goodness.
Yeah, I'd agree that the goodness is definitely with Zap Dingback. Oh, God,
Zap
my words.
Dingbat.
My sinuses are just full of goodness for everyone to
How
enjoy.
dare you?
How dare I not have the cleanest of sinuses for this? I should have washed them out.
That's the minimum we expect from this podcast, Paul.
Clean sinuses.
Yes, I think that episode, for one thing, I mean, for many of the reasons that have been said, but for one thing, that episode is able to garner a fairly ambitious and big plot using very few new elements. A lot of it are character developments that we've already seen. It's looking into Leela's parents in a way that we haven't really before, and the idea of them having their own hopes and dreams and such. And yeah, it just makes the most of the elements it introduces, whereas I would say that this episode, the Butterjunk Effect, underutilizes elements that it introduces and doesn't fully sort of pay them off. So it's a perfectly fine episode. It's relatively entertaining. It has some good laughs, but I would say that yes, the Brannigan Experience, as that episode was called, was the stronger episode.
And it's the Brannigan Experience, which will go on to fight another day. So yeah, that's Zap Dingbat for the win. I also reserve the right of changing the vote, and the winner is The Butterfly Effect by Ashton Kutcher.
Where did that come from? Did some butterfly flap its fucking wings?
Yeah.
A butterfly flaps its wings, and suddenly this episode's ruined. I knew it.
I'm sorry. Phil, Ellen, and Paul Goodman all sent me texts voting for The Butterfly Effect. So that's 3 against 3. Oh, fuck, it's a tie. I don't know what to do now. I'm sorry.
You've ruined it.
Has Ashton Kutcher cast his vote?
Shit, and he was really in favor of Zap. So we've got to give it to Zap. Yeah, I've just got off the phone with Ashton Kutcher.
God damn, I've let him down. I hate letting Ashton down.
He's doing good work.
I actually wanted to say that, next week, if you'd like to come back, we will be watching the $6 Million Mon, which is a lovely little episode where Hermes transforms himself into a little bit more of a robot, which also has its ties to our other podcast, Cyberpunk 2020 game going mainstream. There's a bit of tie-in, so maybe we can talk about that. How about that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Oh. Yeah, that was my little spruik for our other podcast, Roll2Cast. I did well, I think. Paul, speaking of spruiking, is there anything that you would like to spruik to the masses? What you do, where you come from, and what you're up to?
My spruik. Yes, I will. I will recommend that all of your masses, the many, many masses, check out One Good Thing. You can find us on Twitter at OGTPod and all the other things that Goodman usually says. Any good podcast thing, if you just look for One Good Thing, you'll probably get us. There's some cookware bitch who's taking all of our SEO, but we'll get her. Don't you worry about that. What kind of a name for cookware is One Good Thing, I ask you? Find out by listening to One Good Thing, which you can find on Twitter and Facebook at OGTPod. Just Google OGTPod. You'll probably find us. You'll probably have our big faces pop up. You click on those and you win a prize.
Which I do believe I'm going to be on in about 2 months' time, something like that.
Yes. At some point, we arbitrarily decided that we would do the first 4 episodes of every 10 as recommendations, and then those became like the guest slots. So, yeah, now anytime we book on a guest, it's always for, like, 2020. But, yes, I believe we're due to have both of you on, in fact, individually, because we decided that we just can't handle too much baby beard.
Too much beard for your face. It's not viable.
Too hot to handle, quite literally.
Yeah.
So,
that many
yes,
people with such bad sinuses, it's just not good for podcasting.
But if you cross the streams... That's the best thing I said this episode. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
And until next week, well, may as well, let's do the formalities. Until next week, I have been Sinusy Sean.
I've been Silly Chris.
I've been Stuffed Up Paul.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Love it.
Love it.
Oh, viscous.
I want nectar.
Thanks for tuning in. If you'd like to contact us, you can do so by emailing us at babybeardmedia@gmail.com. Our socials are Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at babybeardmedia. And if you're looking for a way to support us, the best way you can do it is by jumping onto iTunes or the podcast app and giving us a 5-star rating and a nice review. It goes a long way to helping us. Otherwise, if you'd like to join us next week...
Anyway. All you have to do is pretend to be the only person in a group who can speak a... well, not obscure, but like relatively underspoken language. And then you can just say what you like.
I think it's all about like commitment and confidence as well, because even if you're talking to someone that does actually speak the language, you just need to pretend you know more than they do.
I think Klingon would be a good one to kind of use, because anyone who professed to knowing it would be instantly ridiculed. So you just drive past that and through that, and you're in good waters. Italian for parasite.
Parasite.
It's buggo. El buggo.
Buggo.
Yeah, el buggo.
El squishy boy.
El infecto.
El ew.
This is a one where we get Ellen involved, and she can teach us some Italian.
But no, that would be
Italian.
She'd give us real Italian. We don't want that. We want slightly racist fake Italian.
Yeah, I don't think Ellen actually knows Italian. I think she's faking it.
She's faking it. Fake it till she makes it. Bibbity.
Hey, Ellen, if you're listening to this, are you fake Italian or real Italian?
Yeah.
I'll fight you. That's an open challenge. And I burped as a result. Oh, that's what I need to do. Ellen, this is to prove you're Italian. Spaghetti competition. We eat who can eat more spaghetti. I think I can. That makes more
Can I
Italian.
make a caveat to that? You also must make the spaghetti first with your bare hands.
Out of nothing.
Out of
Like an Italian
just
cat.
No,
apparate.
I've done that. I did that once. I can do it. I absolutely... Fuck it. Ellen, bring it on.
Okay, and Italians, apparate spaghetti. Go.
Spaghettio.
El Spaghio.
It's Latin. That's what she ripped off with, so it would probably be close.
Can we just make an episode where we call
Presto!
out Ellen?
Presto! It's the fucking... That's it! Presto! That's the summoning charm for fucking pasta.
That's how I do comedy. I say a thing and I tell you it's funny, and then you agree. Or I keep telling you.
Here's what you're not appreciating about that joke.
Yeah. You're the Jeb Bush of comedy. Please laugh.